Now later, you find yourself a boxing mat. You can do that, or you kick. Your sports are for that. You learn through sports how you manage your focus and your emotions, and then you can learn that also in the classroom. Okay, you guys have you haven't asked a question too. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel. Daniel.
Okay, if you wanted to confront a bully, what would you try to tell the bully? Because if you're like, don't bully me, and he'll continue to bully you because it's funny. So what would you actually tell him to make him stop it?
I don't have all the answers, so I'm not going to pretend. I think what you do is you say, I realize that you need to feel good about yourself, but not at my expense. So I honor you to have to do what you need to do in a rational way, and that honors me and honors you. But if you can't do that, it's not my issue. And you have to find a way to walk away and surround yourself with the people that bring out your best. So there's no easy answer to that. I'm not sure if any of the other teachers want to talk about that, how you confront that person, except by saying, I've made a choice to want to focus on my own issues. What's your name again, sorry? Daniel, yeah. I'm going to focus on my issues, and I realize that there's something that's making you angry, but I'm not going to give power to you by letting you think it's me. If there's something I've done that's offended you, I apologize, but other than that, there's not much else I can do, except that we both move on and figure out what's a better way to spend our energy. I don't know. What's your name? Salvador. Nice to meet you, Salvador. Good job, Daniel. Good name, Daniel. There's a man standing in the lion's den. What's your question?
Did you have any more inspirations besides your passion?
Other inspirations? Yeah. I do leadership training with Native American and youth around the country. And that's what I love. And it always comes back to because I noticed I was open to people who brought out my best. Okay. So how much more time? 10 minutes? 5 minutes?
Probably about 5.
Okay. So let me tell you about how this comes around. All of this is a circle, this stuff about emotion and making good choices. Okay? That man, Mr. Johnson, I told you about, the one who told me it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up. Okay, you put your hands down for now, because I'll put them up when I say we next question, but I just want you to hear this. When he was dying on his deathbed, think about where you're going to be. How are you going to feel about yourself at the end of your life? He was in that moment. He was 70 years old. He had hepatitis B2. And he had the moment where he was either going to die or somehow get through this. And I met him just a few months after this happened. And he told me this story. It's a true story. I want you to hear this, guys. He said, Nick, on that moment when I was either going to die or I was going to somehow overcome it, this kid appeared to me I hadn't thought about in 55 years. I was 15, he was 14. And he was bullied. And I finally just got tired of watching kids bully him, and I stood up for him. You can't stand by when you see this happen. There's another part of it. You can't stand by. You don't start a fight, but you say that's just not the way to do it. We're a school that's setting the standard. He said, this kid, I hadn't thought of it over 50 years. You guys are 13 and 14. Think about that. 3 times, more than 3 times your age. Hadn't thought about it. This kid appeared and said, you stood up for me. I'm going to stand up for you now. You're not going to die. And he lived another 17 years. And I was the benefit of that from 1972 till 1988. Actually, 16 years when I met him. And I got to have him coach me. I had him there for me, thinking I'm being cut. I'm thinking about giving up, like Adrian said, and feeling pain. And yet I didn't, because I surrounded myself that brought out my best. And one of the best ones was Dick Johnson. And think about that. This person came full circle and saved his life. Gave him that sense that he could live, and he did. I want you to plant your lives with seeds like this. Acts of courage, making good choices, catching yourself before you get too angry, and walk away. Walk away, count to 10, count to 100, count to 1,000. But be creative. Put yourself in the creative state, not the reactive state. When you're in the reactive state, you'll do something dumb. What I'm telling you is you can take control of your thoughts, control of your emotions, become better athletes, better students, better people. And if you learn that now, you know what's going to happen? People are going to say, you know that Kenneth, he may be 14 or 15, but he's an old soul. He sure thinks and acts like he's 25. That Daniel, he used to get picked on, but now he knows he surrounds himself with good people, and those people know to look out for him, and he looks out for them. That Westpark Elementary School, that used to be a place where there were bullies, and now it's a place where the kids stand up and they may be 8th and 9th and 8th graders, but they act like they're high schoolers. They act like they're in college. They act like men, the best men. Future Teddy Roosevelts, future Martin Luther Kings, future Cesar Chavez.